Yeah. So, like Austin said, my name is Kyle, and I'm recording this. We have a YouTube channel for Pintler Group that I like to put some videos on, and we try to do a lot of content here. So, my name is Kyle. I've been in marketing for about 10 years now. I started in a small private liberal arts school outside of Chicago, Illinois, doing marketing for them. Moved west to Missoula to work at Missoula College, back when it was the College of Technology. If anybody remembers those days. And then in 2015, left the university to start my own marketing firm from my basement, kind of classic entrepreneurial story. Business picked up, started hiring some folks, and now we're a team of 6 here in Missoula. We manage anything from Farmer Boy Eggs, which is a small ag company out of Drummond, to Montana Health Co-op, which is a large health insurance company out of Helena. We have some software that we build that we also work with companies like the University of Oregon and Nokia, and we're continuing to grow. So our vision for 2020 is to continue to grow, to be thought leaders in the space of digital marketing, and it's something that I'm really passionate about speaking to students about, taking on people that are hungry to learn and showing them, okay, here's what marketing analytics and digital marketing is all about. So today my goal is to show you a couple of frameworks that we use at Pintler Group whenever we onboard a new client. My goal is to answer any questions you have. I want to make sure that you're here. You're sort of, instead of okay, hey, I could just watch this on YouTube, like that we're having a discussion about anything that you're interested in. And by the end of the day, I hope that if you're interested in going into the field of marketing, that this either confirms, yeah, that's something in 2020 that makes sense for me to do, or maybe you say that actually doesn't sound that interesting. I want to go do something else. So those are my goals today. Mostly seniors in this class. All seniors, mostly, okay. Marketing majors are kind of across the board. Some MIS folks in here? Yeah, a few. Okay, cool. Management, some market, and everybody else is pretty much marketing. Someone's like, I'm international business. No one ever says international business. Is there any international business here? Well, okay, yeah. So you always get forgotten about international business? Yeah. I'll make sure to include international business in the pitch today. So our vision, I want to talk about our company a little bit, just introduce ourselves and sort of what we stand for. And our method, like I said, I'm going to show you a couple frameworks that we use. They might be familiar to you or they might be new. You'll find in marketing a lot of times frameworks repeat themselves. So we use a specific one that I'll show you. And then I'll show you some examples of the work that we do. These are some of the firms that we work with. And if I'm standing in your way, just be like, Kyle, get out of the way. I'll move for you. We work with folks like University of Montana, again, Colorado State, down in Fort Collins, Farmer Boy Eggs, Boy Scouts of America, and these are just some of the clients that we work with, just to show you kind of the breadth of clients we work with. This is not our vision. This is really loud, so this is the Missoulian, so Missoulian.com. If anybody's ever been on Missoulian.com, while I'm not trying to buy tickets for Brian Regan, I'm trying to read some local news. It's extremely loud and disruptive and noisy, so and it's been that way for a long time. Sorry, is anybody doing an internship at the Missoulian right now? No? Okay, good. So I'm going to bash the Missoulian. To us, this is not marketing that works. It might get reported back to Mr. Brian Regan that, hey, guess what? 1 million people saw your ad on Missoulian.com. What we care about at Pintler Group is what is that next step? So even though people saw the ad, what difference did that make? And when you're the title of this class, Austin, is marketing analytics.
This is actually integrated online.
Integrated online, okay. It's a big umbrella. So integrated online marketing, you might hear arguments for display advertising that if 1 million people see it, that matters, and we just want to know for sure. So this is more of our vision. This is our blog on our website. We write, we try to write just about every week. I took this image in November, but we've updated since. But we write about things that we notice, that we come across. Facebook ads. If you're on Facebook and you notice something new, chances are that's a new marketing feature that we've discussed at our Friday all-hands meeting, or our Friday strategy meeting. We talk about forums. We talk about affiliate marketing. So we try to stay updated on everything. That's really our vision. This is our YouTube channel. So we try to do, again, a video a week. We have what's called Content Thursday. That's tomorrow. So everybody on the team either produces a video, records a podcast, or produces a piece of content. And that, it's funny because you look at some of these and it has 2, 13 views, 7 views, but it keeps us really sharp so that when a client asks us, what do you think about this new feature on YouTube? Have you experimented with it? You know, not only have we read about it, but we've actually executed it. So we try to walk the walk and talk the talk. Our vision of sort of clean design, we like landing pages and home pages and websites that have one really clear call to action. You can probably think of websites you've been on where you're like, I'm just trying to give you my credit card, and it's really difficult to do. I just want to pay you for your service, for your software, and it's difficult to do because you can't find exactly where that submission form is or the application that you're looking to fill out. So our vision in terms of web design is one of really simple and elegant user experience. And we'll talk about that a little more. So I want to start at the very beginning. Is there anybody here that's working on a business or a project, or maybe their family has a business that they own that you work in and would be willing to share? Or like, is anybody entering the John Rufato business planning competition coming up? Thinking about it? On a team? Not quite. What about anybody that's ever had a business idea? Who's got a business idea that they're okay to share? The Uber of matchmaking of what do we got? You got a business idea?
Like start like a fly fishing shop, or like an outfitter.
A fly fishing shop or an outfitter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's awesome. Here in Montana?
Yep.
Great. A fly fishing shop or an outfitter. So if I'm starting there, and let's pretend that you've built that business, okay? It exists, you have clients, and you're in sort of year 1. So it's your first season. You know, the runoff has settled down, and you're getting people calling you saying, okay, I'm ready to book my guided trip. The first step, and this is true of anybody, so is anybody in internship right now? Where are you working right now?
The athletics department.
The athletics department, great. Okay, who else? Yeah.
Fantasy Records.
Fantasy Records, okay. They in town?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Should I know them? Is that something that everyone's like,
They're
this dude
a
doesn't
smaller
know?
label, but still
Okay.
a major one.
Got it, okay. And what do you do for Fantasy Records?
Coordinating nonprofit partnerships with their artists.
Cool, okay. Who else is working in marketing, or who else is working anywhere in general? Yeah, where are you working? I didn't bring my glasses. Sydney?
I work at Athleta.
Athleta, okay, that's a good example of business here in town, yeah.
I rate advertisements, like Google and YouTube, advertisements.
I rate advertisements.
Like, grade them, yeah, like assess how effective.
Oh, grade.
Like, they'll be, yeah, like, I see ads that come up like a couple months in advance and just determine how, I guess, good they are.
I see, okay. And that's the company rate
No,
advertisements?
no, I work, it's for Lionbridge.
Got it, Linebridge, okay. Cool. So there's some good examples. Let's use Athletica, what is it?
Athleta.
Athleta.
Like athlete,
Now I
but-
should know that one, Athleta. My wife gets the magazine, so I should know that one. Athleta. So this is a question posed by Casey Winters. He formerly of Grubhub, he worked at Pinterest, he helped these companies grow. Now I think he's working for some startups through a large venture capital firm, but this sounds like such a simple question. Would your customers be pissed if your product went away? A question that a lot of businesses ask. So you're in Michael, so Michael's running the fly fishing shop. We get approached by companies like Michael's Fly Fishing Guided Services. That's not the name you should use, but let's use it for today. And saying, hey, how much should we spend on marketing? And sometimes our answer is, well, this is the first question we ask. We kind of respond to a question with a question. It's very political of us, politician of us, but that's what we do. Would your customers be pissed if you went away, if you just disappeared? So the question I would ask Michael is, do you have customers that are sort of repeat customers yet? Is the pinwheel spinning of customers? It's for someone like Athleta. I'm gonna get that wrong the whole time. Athletica?
Athleta.
I got it right the first time. Athleta. They have customers that would be pretty upset if they went away. And so that sounds really hand-wavy. Let's think about something like a software that you use on your phone. How many people have run into that issue where you take a picture and it says, hey, your phone is full? And everyone has that? Or does everyone have like the 64 gig? I'm the only one that goes to so you're on the phone, it says, okay, your phone is full. And then what's the next thing you do? Delete the pictures, what else might you do? You might go to the home screen and do what? Yeah, apps.
Delete your apps.
Is that Olivia?
Yes.
Olivia, so you might go to the home screen and delete some apps. So when you are deleting those apps, what decisions are you running through your head? And this is a good sort of, as a company, if you're on the home screen, you're hoping that you stay on the home screen. That's the way that people open your application. That's the way on Instagram people are able to serve ads, and Facebook gets paid the more times you open that application. So would your customers be pissed if you went away? If you were deleting an app, can anybody think of an app they've recently deleted from their phone? Does anybody have like Lyft and Uber on their phone? I see a couple head nods. Like,
I deleted Uber Eats.
you deleted Uber Eats. Okay, that's a good example. Like, why did you delete Uber Eats?
Spending too much money.
So that was like a self-discipline
Yeah.
delete? Yeah, okay, that's fair. So you were probably mad that they went away, but it was probably good for the wallet at the end of the day. So that's a good example. Like, they didn't quite have their lock-in mechanisms into you quite strong enough to keep you around. So this is very hand-wavy. It works with any business, though. You can think, okay, if I'm building a business, until this question is definitively yes, I shouldn't be worrying about, well, how am I going to grow this thing to be a public company? How am I going to grow this to $1 million company? First, you have to answer that question. You have to make sure that your customers are really loving what you're offering. This is a little more, a little less hand-wavy. This is a cohort analysis. Making people want things versus making things people want. So, Uber Eats got you to download the app originally. They said, okay, you should want this, you're gonna want this, but did you in the end really think this is adding a ton of value to my life? So what the cohort analysis measures is, let's say that this is the month of February. Month 1 you have a spike of revenue per user. So every user that you onboard in the month of February spends $40 in that month. Moving down the line, month 2, so in March, the average user that you acquired in February is now only spending $10. So there's a big drop, and that's pretty normal. The key to any cohort analysis when you're talking about marketing is that if this number ever sort of face dives or nose plants into 0, that's very problematic. It's problematic because if I'm spending a bunch of money to acquire customers here, only for a couple months later for them to delete the app or to never call the fly fishing company again, this money here is going to burn up really quickly. You're going to spend a lot of money acquiring users that don't stick around. So if I have a user, if I have an application that costs $10 a month, let's use Netflix as an example. Netflix has a cohort analysis on every one of us in this room. If you've ever logged into Netflix, whether you're a subscriber or not, maybe you were a 6-month subscriber and then you said, HBO has the good shows now, I'm dropping Netflix. They want to make sure to keep you coming back. And so they know, what's Netflix now? Is it $13 a month, something like that? $8, right around there, depending on how many screens you can share. If you're OG, you can share like 1 million screens, but you got to be grandfathered in. So this would be a great example. You signed up for Netflix. It cost them $200 in marketing to acquire you. So you had to see 5 online advertisements, you had to get an email, you had to sign up for the free trial. That cost Netflix $200. Is that worth it for Netflix? You're shaking your head, yeah, why do you think it's worth it?
Or if they're gonna end up doing like the month-to-month basis, they're probably gonna be sucked in for like at least the whole year.
Yeah, the whole year perhaps, and and I think it's worth it if you're sitting there and you're like, I've been subscribed to Netflix for 10 years. Yes, that's worth it for them to acquire you for $200. If they acquire you and you drop in 2 months, perhaps that's not worth it, but you know that Netflix has those metrics to say our average user, across all users are subscribed for 3 years. And so they know that how much they can spend. Even if someone drops it 1 month, someone's going to be subscribed much longer. So cohort analysis is a good thing to know about. If you want to get into marketing, if you're thinking about, or if you're working at a company now that you're like, man, our customers keep leaving, but we keep spending all this money on marketing, then something needs to be fixed there. That's kind of stating the obvious. So this is the best case scenario. When you're part of a company, whether it's a growing company or an existing company, or it's your company, or a company you work for, and I'll let you guys read this. We know who our customers are, we know how to make them happy, and you're like losing sleep because you want to get a lot more like them. That's when really digital marketing and the tactics that we're going to talk about today come into play. When you have a product that people want, people care about, they're sticking around, the cohort analysis says they're staying for a long time, your net promoter score surveys tell you that your customers are loving your product, you're getting great feedback, 5 stars, now you're ready to grow. Too often we see companies that sort of jump the gun on this and want to grow really fast before they've proven themselves. So that's important if you're entrepreneurial. I guess like raising your hand if you're entrepreneurial, but do some people want to work for themselves someday here, own their own business? So these are key things to think about. You don't need to be a PhD in statistics to run a cohort analysis. You don't need, but you do have to work really hard in those early stages to figure out what that value proposition is going to be for you. So until then, do things that don't scale. Under the Pintler Group umbrella, we have a software called GeoFly. It's a software, and just real quick, what that allows you to do is change content based on visitor location. So somebody visiting your website from New York would see different content than somebody visiting that same website from California. It's really powerful for higher ed, it's really powerful for e-commerce, tourism. So we just onboarded Nokia. They're launching a big product, but it's very different depending on which country you're in. So they want to show at Nokia.com different content to Belarus than they do to Canada, because there's very different provider things to worry about, I suppose. So in 2015, when we first launched, this is what sort of our marketing efforts looked like. A lot of handwritten notes to anybody that we would demo, so anybody that we would sort of knock on the door. I would say things like, hey, I'm going to be in Chicago on July 24th to Northwestern University. And they would say, yeah, that date works for us. And then I'd have to figure out how I was going to get to Chicago on July 24th to pitch to them in person. So again, it's like that hustle of the early days is exciting. You're trying to prove yourself. You're trying to prove that people want your product. Full campaign management basically meant we don't want you logging into the application yet because it's not ready, but we're going to see if we can validate the business idea with some new customers. So we didn't actually let people log into the application in the early days. We just managed it ourselves and sort of brute forced those changes to happen. Today, the software is much cleaner and people log in. I always have to add that asterisk so people are like, is it still broken, Kyle? Does it still work? Fast forward to today, and these are some of our metrics that we're really psyched on. So these are some of the performance metrics of people that use GeoFly, our software.